This is the Art Beauty Podcast where we tell the real truth about the fake shit. I am Amber, and today my fabulous co-host is John Pham, part of now the Art Beauty Fam. He is the CEO and co-founder of InBrace. InBrace, this is a new behind the teeth revolutionary way to straighten our teeth. We're going to talk about that in just a second. John, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us here. Coming from the West Coast, keeping it real. So let's talk.
I mean, I love it. So now you're part of my West Coast fam. I feel like I've been to California, but not as many times as I should, but people always tell me that the weather is so great and so beautiful. And every time I've been, it rains. So are y'all lying?
Well, next time you come out here and give me a visit, I'll make sure we'll keep the rain in Seattle or something, and we'll save the sunshine for you. Okay.
You can make that happen. I'd really appreciate that.
For sure.
Now, are you in Northern California or Southern California?
Sunny Southern California, Orange County.
Okay.
That's where the beaches and Disneyland is. And
I know all about. I watched an entire series on your entire lifestyle, so I get it. I know all about the OC. You go and you surf every day, and it's just gorgeous teenagers, right?
There you go. Sun and smiles. That's all we got here.
Smiles. I mean, we're going to get to this in a minute because when I heard about your product, I was very, very, very intrigued. But actually, you know what? Let's just get right into it. So, InBrace.
Sure.
I was very intrigued because we've had on our podcast, I mean, it seems like ages ago, a very close friend of mine had, as an adult, went and had Invisalign. And, I think so many of us, like, did you ever wear braces as a kid?
I'm actually an orthodontist by training, and yes, I did wear braces. Yes, I wore plastic aligners. I've had it all. Did you ever have braces as a kid?
I sure did. It was to correct, like, this tooth kind of went behind, and I wore braces for, it was like 18 months because I didn't have terrible teeth. But then I never wore my retainer afterwards. Bad. So they have kind of shifted. And, every time I'm in at my dentist, I'm like, should I get the Invisalign? Should I do this? But I got to be honest. I mean, my girlfriend had them, but she had braces for a year. You can tell that people have braces. It's not, the big silver brackets, but it's not very discreet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So let's, talk to me.
There's a lot you're saying right there, a lot to unpack. And I'll tell you, what happens to you happened to everybody. And it's not bad. You're not wearing a retainer. It's not bad. It's just real. That's what happened. Because no one wants to be wearing these things 24 hours a day. You go through braces and you wear these things all night. And, the first thing you want to do, they want to give you after you don't wear your retainer is another retainer. They call it Invisalign, right? So that's why we developed what we did,
can I tell you too, we keep it real here. So
real.
I did have to go back. So there was a point in my life when I was really stressed and I was like clenching my jaw. So they made me some sort of like a night mouth guard. I went through 18 of them because the first one, and at the time I'd also hurt my wrist. So I was having to wear this wrist brace and this giant mouthpiece at night. And my husband was like, it looks like I'm going to bed with a boxer right now. And I had to go into my dentist and I was like, look, I want to get laid. Okay. I mean, like, this is not sexy. Can you help me out with something sexier? Because this thing was giant. It was like, kind of hood it in and you're high like this. It was not at all sexy. She went back and we ended up, I'm pretty sure, because I was like, I'm not going to wear it. So let's go back to the drawing board. And I think that she ended up giving me something that was kind of a hybrid of what you would do for teeth whitening trays, which aren't great. And she said, this isn't really designed for this, but she's like, at least you'll wear it.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I don't anymore. But I haven't been.
So oh my God. There's so much stuff in my mind. So let me first, start off and talk about, why we're doing what we're doing and what we're doing. And, you mentioned feeling sexy, right? What does that mean? So I think to me, smiling is so much more than just a physical expression. It really is a complete emotional expression of joy, confidence, ease, sexiness, right? So you can't fake. And that feeling of being able to reveal your true self
Yeah.
is a critical part of what we're trying to do at InBrace. That's what we're trying to unlock, right?
Right.
And if you look at the options available today for folks who are trying to have a better smile, the only two options you have are regular braces or these plastic aligners that you had talked about. Both of
Oh,
which,
no. The plastic aligners, no, the plastic aligners for mine were for jaws. My girlfriend then had Invisalign. When I went to my dentist and said, what do you think about these? I know you're not talking about the plastic aligners where they change them up. She was like, yeah, you can try them, but then you're going to end up with Invisalign.
Oh, got it.
She's like, essentially, they don't work.
Well, either way, all these things require you to be hidden behind a mouthful of something that's covering up your sexiness. And what we're trying to do here at InBrace is do something where you don't have to look worse before you look better.
Right.
Allows you to be spontaneous, allows you to go out and have a drink with your girlfriend or brush, floss, eat normally without the hassle that has to go through with everything else. So, in essence, when you ask me what InBrace is, that's what it is. It's a behind the teeth strainer that lets you, enjoy your life, live life fully without anybody knowing you're going through treatment. You don't have to look worse before you look better, period.
Now, okay, so I'm trying to open this up here because you guys sent me something of what this looks like. For people who are just listening right now, you go on the website and you see essentially what is this smart wire. But I have to say, when I saw it on the website, I was expecting something that was akin to sort of, for people who've had braces, the metal wire that they put across your brackets. That is, to me, stiff.
Mm-hmm.
You're telling me that this little flimsy thing here is going to fix my teeth?
Yeah, well, it's really founded on some.
When I say flimsy, sorry, I wasn't in a bad way. It's just like this doesn't look uncomfortable.
This is what we call gentle force technology, Amber. And we found, so my background, I'm an engineer by training, also an orthodontist. And my co-founder was a bone biologist at USC. And, it's one of those stories where I was going through residency, two great minds came together and were like, there has to be a way for us to allow people to strain their teeth without going through all the stuff that we talked about, right?
Were you in a garage when you did this?
I was, the idea started when I was in my garage and I was Zooming with my professor just like this. And we're like, how do we do this? And
I laugh because I say that all the time. I'm like, I missed my mark because I never lived in a house with a garage. So I'm doomed for life to never create anything brilliant, because in order to create anything brilliant, it has to be in a garage. We've had a lot of garage entrepreneurs on this show. So continue.
So it is that startup story where 2 people became 20 people, became 200 people, and now, thousands and thousands of people out there are wearing the SmartWire technology. But, going back to what we were saying about the forces, right? So we have this perception of teeth straightening that it has to be painful, it has to be inconvenient. Again, you have to look worse before you look better. And that's why people like you and I end up not doing that. We are spending on things, on facial things, hair things, we are spending on beauty cosmetic purchases, but not on teeth straightening. So our goal here was to make something that would fit into our lifestyles, maybe your listeners' lifestyles, and say, hey, you know what? That is something that I would like to do. So the first thing we should try to address is pain. Okay. Right. Through our research, we found out that most of the treatment options out there are applying too much force to move teeth. And so we developed this with what we call gentle force technology, right? With maybe up to half the time of half the amount of force that you use in other types of treatment to get the work done. And
can you, before we get too much into technology right now, let's take a step back about what this InBrace system is. So it's behind the teeth, as you mentioned. Are there any sort of brackets that are attached? Is it something that we go into the dentist for? Is it something we're doing at home?
Great. So there has been a movement lately of folks that are doing tooth movement through the mail, right? And, as a clinician myself, I have a lot of concerns about that. I mean, I don't even want to cook my own food, let alone let somebody else, straighten my teeth for me. So, I believe that there's a large group of people out there who want to make sure this is done by a professional.
Yeah.
But they just don't want the inconvenience of having to come in every single month, right?
Okay, fair. Yeah.
And all the tightenings that come with, conventional braces and all those things. So this is treatment where you come into an orthodontist to get it done. But instead of, coming in every single month for these tightenings, you come in every, 8 to 12 weeks instead. And most of those are checkups just to make sure that things are going well, right? These smart wires, Amber, that you're holding in your hand, is made specifically for your smile, to straighten it, to this design that you make, that you design with your orthodontist. It sits behind the teeth, glued onto these small anchors, right? And it works slowly and gently through time. We call it gentle force technology, right? Towards that end treatment, right?
So now, before we go on to this, why do you think to this point nobody has done behind the teeth brackets, or very few people have?
Yeah, because all they really did was they took braces and put it behind the teeth, and that doesn't work. That's
Why?
Like, why doesn't it work?
Yeah.
It becomes very bulky. I mean, regular braces are
Bulky.
pretty uncomfortable. If you take regular braces and put it behind the teeth, you kind of took a bad thing and made it worse, right?
Okay.
Now it's invisible, but it's just like you can't just take a car and put a battery in it and call it a Tesla. You got to redesign the whole thing from the bottom up. Right.
Got fair. Okay. And do you think it was like because it would come off like when you're eating? That does seem like it would be challenging.
It was uncomfortable because it was so bulky. You would lisp. The orthodontist.
Lisp. Okay.
Yeah, you have to come in every single month for tightenings, right? So, just all these things magnified on the inside. And so what we did was, again, we redesigned it with this smart wire that you see here, and we made it so that it works gently and automatically on its own once it's applied to the back of your teeth.
Right.
And you don't have to come in every single month for these tightenings anymore. You're coming in every 8 to 10 weeks instead, just for checkups.
And I'm going to cue you on this gentle force technology because I feel like I've cut you off already 4 times. So now tell us about this gentle force technology.
So what we found was that a lot of the treatment options out there are applying way too much force to move teeth. And so by redesigning the whole, not to get too nerdy into things, but redesigning the whole entire tooth straightening experience from the inside out, no pun intended, that we can custom design forces to each individual tooth such that it's applying just the amount you need.
Okay.
To get it to its end result. And in doing that, the experience has been so much better. And we've been able to grow this category by bringing in people that otherwise would never have thought about orthodontic treatment.
I mean, hello, when your PR team reached out to me, I was like, the reason I had you on is because this is something that is right up my alley, and so many people. And I was like, for a personal reason, I wanted to have you on because I'm very intrigued. So you'll have to let me know who does this in New York.
This is what I want to do with you right now, Ashley. Right. And I know this is an audio podcast, but I'm do you have a cup of warm water?
Yeah. Somewhere. Yeah. Do you want me to go get it? Okay. All right.
Run, get a cup of warm, hot water if you can. Hello, listeners. I'm still here. If you're interested in getting InBrace, go to www.inbrace.com. Find a provider near you.
I love the shameless plug. Is that what you do? Is that what you always do? Is that what you always do?
This is awkward silence, so I might as well talk to your listeners.
That was amazing. So, okay, here I am with my cup of warm water.
Okay, now check this out. This is important. Now, get the smart wire, put it in your hand. Mm-hmm. Right. Now, imagine you go to the orthodontist, they scan your teeth, they design the perfect smile that you've always wanted.
Right.
They make this smart wire personalized just for you to create that smile. Okay. Right. Now you can feel how gentle the forces are, right? I mean, you can take it in your hand and try to twist it like this.
Oh yeah. When I said flimsy before, it wasn't, but it's very malleable is what I should have said.
Yes. That's all the force you need to move teeth, right? Now, do me a favor, take it and stretch it. Okay. Imagine you put it to your crooked teeth and it's bending. Okay. Stretch it. Now put that into the hot water and watch what happens to it.
Wait, should I stretch it more? Oh, did it go back?
Stretch it as much as you can.
Okay.
And then put it in the hot water and watch it return to its shape.
Wow. Okay. Wow. So it went.
Did you see that?
This is some NASA type technology here that we're talking about. This is amazing. Okay. Yeah, it
So,
went right back.
Amber, my background is actually in aerospace engineering. I used to work at Boeing Corporation doing, I'm like I mean, my mom told me I had to be an engineer and an orthodontist first before I can drop out and be an entrepreneur.
That
Right.
your mom is so smart. First of all, she gave you the smarts, right? Of like, do this. I always said, had I known then what I know now, I would have become a dentist, because every time I go to my dentist, I'm like, where am I sending you? On what vacation? Because no insurance takes it. And it's always so damn expensive. Every time I go in, they're like, that'll be, I don't know, a couple $1,000s.
I'm gonna talk about expenses next, but the first thing is the technology. So you saw right there what Gentle Force does. If
Yeah.
can you explain to the listeners here what just happened, what you saw?
Right. So imagine like a almost like fishing wire, a very thin piece of fishing wire. It's very flexible, and I was able to stretch it out and kind of shape it a little bit. As soon as I put it into the hot water, it went right back to um, the original molded shape that it had been in.
And it did it in a very gentle, continuous fashion, right?
Okay.
So imagine again the smart wire as your smile.
Okay.
When you stretched it out, is the crooked teeth.
Okay.
The water is your body temperature.
Okay.
So you start piecing this together now,
Yes.
right?
So the heat of your mouth is going to make sure that it's pulling it into alignment. Brilliant.
Slowly, continuously, and that is Gentle Force.
So how do they attach this? What is the attachment system for this inside on the back of the teeth? Is it brackets?
Yeah, so I mean, I don't like using the word brackets because you think about regular braces, but it's essentially a holder of sorts.
Okay.
Right, and the core technology. This is the engine, the smart wire, right? And as we develop and keep getting better and better, these holders become smaller and smaller and smaller, because in the end, your teeth don't need brackets to move. They need Gentle Force to move.
Right.
And that's why we say we're a whole new category. It's not braces, it's InBrace.
Thank God for you, by the way. I love this. Seriously, because this I think is, and this is why I created this podcast, is to meet brilliant people like yourself who are really taking a look at the industry and saying, no, we're not going to stand for this. There has to be a better way. I love that you're an engineer, but also an orthodontist. So in practice, you are realizing, hey, there's a lot of things that could be improved here.
So, I'm gonna tell you here, keeping it real, and I'm interrupting you on your own show. I'm sorry.
That's what we do here. Go ahead.
Look, I mean, I'm gonna tell you this, Amber. Sometimes it does take someone from the outside to come in and make a difference, right? And I don't know if you know this. 75% of people in the world need some kind of tooth straightening.
Yeah.
Okay? 3 out of every 4 people. So in the U.S., that's like 190 million people. Okay. Now, these people care about how they look, how their hair looks, how their skin is. They're shopping at, they're buying Botox, they're buying lip liner. I saw you putting on your lipstick earlier, right? These people care about their teeth, right? Now, but why is it that only 5 million people are actually getting started? It's because the options we have do not suit their lifestyle.
No, and listen, a lot of it too is a lot of people that I know who are now getting Invisalign were doing it because they were situations like me. They had braces as kids. They didn't wear the retainer because, when I was a kid 8,000 years ago, nobody really explained to me, I'm going to need a retainer because otherwise your teeth are going to go right back to normal.
And this is I would almost even say, brainwash that the world has. It's not that they want clear aligners. They don't want braces. They want straight teeth and they don't want braces.
Totally. Oh yeah. Oh, 1,000%.
So when the only other option is clear aligners, then you end up doing that. But there has to be something else. And that's
totally. Do you think so? So let's talk about like how long is the process? So you mentioned, unlike traditional braces, which you would have to go and have tightened and tweaked every 4 weeks. Mm-hmm. This you said is every 8 to 12. What is the total
treatment time?
And I know it can vary depending on how bad your teeth are, but let's say for like a minute. Yeah.
I'm going to start with the easy answer. I'm going to start with and then I'm going to end with the real answer. Okay. The easy answer is we found that you can be done in almost half the time, right? We say up to half the visits, half the pain, half the time. Okay. Results may vary, right?
Right, of course.
We have publications out there that are saying maybe 25% less time, but it varies. But What's more important than the when will I be done? That's not what people are asking. The people are asking is, when will I be wowed? When will the thing that I care about be fixed? And with regular braces and with plastic aligners, you have to wait until the end of treatment to enjoy that thing, whatever it is that you're looking for. With InBrace, because it's custom designed and because it's hidden behind your teeth, everything is happening in real time. When your teeth are moving, you're seeing it right away. I don't know if that makes
sense. So you're not like, it totally does. Because again, my girlfriend just went through, I think it was like 20 months of wearing braces. And you're right. At the end, they were straight, they were gorgeous, but she still had the braces on the outside. So you don't get to see.
It's the before and after. You know what we have here?
Right.
We have
the during. Which is amazing.
That's the wow. So that's when we say, if you look on our website, we say, wow starts now.
Right.
Because, I mean, even literally when you were earlier playing with this thing, you said, wow. And I can't even, I mean, yes, I'm drinking my own Kool-Aid, but I can't even, tell you how many times I hear wow. Wow about the technology. Wow about the results. Wow about the journey. And wow about like the type of amazing people we have around us. I mean, this really is a wow product.
So now let's talk about price, because we keep it real here. And I know that probably things can vary depending on where you are, but do we have ballpark pricing for something like this?
Yeah. So what we've been able to do is enable this type of technology to be available at the same price point as plastic aligners and conventional braces, which is $4,000 to $6,000 before insurance. So insurance takes it down even more. And this is very important to note here. I'm gonna do a little history. Behind the teeth treatment has been around for a while. It's a great concept, but why is it that most people haven't heard about it? That's because other types of behind the teeth treatment have been using outdated technology that's very expensive, very uncomfortable, and very hard to use, right? And so that's why other treatments have been up to $12,000. I mean, Amber, that's the price of a small car.
So you're saying this is like $4,000 to $6,000?
Yes, because this technology has enabled it to be much easier to use, much more comfortable, much less chair time, which allows the cost savings to be passed on to you.
Okay. And now,
does that make sense?
Yeah, it's great. Now, you did mention insurance. So people with dental insurance will cover this kind of thing, or is it cosmetic?
Insurance covers it. So if you have orthodontic insurance, which most people do, it can be applied towards this type of treatment. And most people, that's around $1,000 to $2,000 of coverage.
Wow. So if people are considering this, they might want to look into getting orthodontic insurance first. Is that different than your regular dental insurance?
It usually comes with your dental insurance.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, so now again, and that's not even taking into account all the payment plans that your local orthodontist will offer you. So, I mean, it gets really affordable. Actually, I'll tell you, ladies out there who get your hair done, your nails done, each time you're doing a manicure, what's that, $99 around there? It's the same price as InBrace per month when you take into account
all the listen, we don't need to justify it here. People get it. I mean, we understand that. A very interesting thing, years ago I interviewed an orthodontist who was working on actually at the time it was
I'm not your first orthodontist.
No, you're not on this show. I think you are on actually on Art Beauty you are. So I've got a 20-year history in journalism, so I was interviewing for actually a show on Lifetime. And one of the things they were dealing with kids is that not having crooked teeth isn't just about the aesthetics either, because it can actually change the face shape, so that's something that.
So keeping it real here, there's so much about teeth straightening that I'd love the world to know about. Again, when you get your teeth, did you know, Amber, that when you get your teeth straightened, they look whiter? Did you know that?
No, I did not.
When your teeth are straight, they look whiter because, again, the light reflects better, right?
Right.
Did you know that when your teeth are straighter, your lips look fuller?
That I did know. And that's what I'm talking about, because yes, I did know that.
So this is literally, I mean, tooth straightening is like tooth whitening and Botox all put together in one, and it lasts forever if you do it, right? So
wait, on that. After treatment with this, you do still have to wear some sort of a retainer though, right? Once they're straight.
Yeah. Or some people, for me, the InBrace is my retainer. I'm wearing it right now. I don't know if you know that.
No.
my correction has been done for a while, and I just keep it now as my retainer. And I don't think I talk funny. If I do, I've always talked this way.
No,
And
you don't sound like you have any lisp,
I don't,
and you have
I don't,
beautiful teeth.
yeah.
So, wow, I'm so impressed with this. What's next? You think that then these attachment things are just going to get, you said, smaller?
It just gets small. I mean, it's like every technology. I mean, I like to think of us not as a med device company, but a technology consumer company as well.
Yeah.
And like any technology is going to keep getting better and better. And
Cool.
and you know, as an orthodontist, I'll tell you, you start seeing these trends, right? At first, you know, when I first started practicing, I saw people coming in asking for braces. Then I see people coming in now, you know, asking for plastic aligners, and then, you know, now InBrace. But the type of consumer coming in has been changing. And this is worth noting, right? 10, 20 years ago, I would have brides coming in saying, "Doctor, I need to get these braces off in time for my wedding," right? And you know what I'm hearing now? "Doctor, I need to get InBrace on in time for my wedding." That's the big difference here.
Right.
Because it doesn't have to impede upon your life, because you can still do you and go through all the life events, and it can be improving throughout time. People are asking for this to get on for the life event, not off before the life event. That's a huge.
I know I kind of asked you this before, and not that you danced around it, but it was kind of, it's like half the time of a traditional braces. But is there like an average amount of time that people wear this for?
Yeah, that's tough to say. Depends on how difficult the case is. But what I can tell you is that on average, you will usually have a wow moment on day one, for sure, when you get it on. Oh my God, this is amazing. And then usually by week 8 or week 12 is when you're going to see substantial tooth
Straightening by 12, they'll already start to be. So let's say we have a very mild, alignment need. What are we looking at? Is it a full year?
Most of those mild alignment cases are done within 6 months.
6 months, okay.
And you know, the great thing is, you can go on social media, #InBrace, and you can see all of our InBrace Nation speaking for themselves.
That's amazing. I love that. You know what, John? I feel like this is so incredible. Again, I want to thank you for being a disruptor. This came across my desk, and I was like, I want to do this podcast because I find this genuinely fascinating, because there's been no other option. And I think that the options up to date, in my opinion, they're not great. So this seems really, really great. If people want to know more about this, where should they go?
When you were going out getting your
I heard it, but we're going to cut that out. So now, where should they go if they missed the shameless plug from before?
Yeah. So thank you for that, Amber. And if anybody's interested in learning more about InBrace, the best thing to do is go on www.inbrace.com. Go on our doctor locator. We have providers across the whole entire nation that are well trained on this and waiting to give you the wow experience.
Amazing. And don't forget to check in with your orthodontist to find out which types of dental insurance might help this. And certainly, as you mentioned, it was a great tip. If finances are a concern, talk to them about a payment plan. Figure this out, because this seems like a great option where there hasn't been any, if you ask my opinion. Thank you so much for being with us. I can't wait to check out your Instagram. If people have questions that you want me to ask John, I'm always happy to do that. You can email me at hello@ArtBeautyPodcast. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and here on YouTube at Art Beauty Podcast. We have a new newsletter, so make sure you sign up for that. We'll be doing announcements and special discounts, and I can put some links where to find more information on this fabulous InBrace. You will get them only once a week, I promise. And you can go to that at artbeautypodcast.com. You can find the link to our newsletter. And as always, we will see you next Tuesday. Thank you, John Pham.
Thank you, Amber. Thank you, everybody.